So let's get right to it. Of course, all these things happening, and I'd like to talk about what's been happening at the bank. Yes, even a boring corporate job has a lot of material available. There's been return to office, so once a week, some of my colleagues have been coming back, and that means that some of them might bring in goodies and say, hey, you can have some, but I have to go to another floor to do that. And this past week when that happened, one of them tried to tell a joke and it didn't land with me. And then the response right away was, I'm just teasing. And whenever I hear that, I'm thinking, so does that mean you would tease a wild animal? It's like, sometimes jokes just plain don't land. So, I mean, that doesn't mean double down, even though people try that all the time. And I know the other thing that has been relevant to that is it's not every day that I need to go to that floor to get Band-Aids. I have paper cuts. But the 2 days that they were there, I had to get them. So I didn't want them to think I was accident prone, and I also didn't like having to answer questions as to why I was up there, because when office is deserted, I mean, I could just get something up there and go. I didn't have to get bogged down in a pointless conversation. So, you know what I did? I don't use Band-Aids much at home, not much of a need for them there. I brought some from home and put them in an envelope, so then they are already where they need to be really close. So it's like, yay, necessity being the mother of invention. I could have done a lot earlier, but didn't have to. As the saying goes, they're not paying to be social. So I guess that's another thing that I'm thinking of there is I'm just here to work. Movies, yeah, I have seen quite a bit of those during the pandemic. I know Steve likes hearing about the red box rentals, and yes, there was another one this weekend. And I know there are plenty to choose from, so it's like, all right, if my first choice is not available, see if there's another one that was decent. I chose a Western called Catch the Bullet, and I'll admit that I've seen better Westerns than this. I mean, it didn't bother me any that I didn't know any of the actors in it. I just wanted to see a good story. Yeah, I ended up really hating the villain because of how he was treating the kid he had kidnapped. It's like, well, I know that my dad would say you're not supposed to like certain characters, and it's like, yeah, I guess I understand why. I guess that's why it's called being an actor. You don't have to be convincing. And then the other one I saw, I went to theaters to see it, because, of course, the Oscar nominations, some movies are getting another chance in theaters. And I went to see Nightmare Alley. That had plenty of actors in it I recognized. That's why I wanted to see it. Even if one of them is David Strathairn, it's like, well, I like some of the roles that he's done. Like, last year's Best Picture winner, he was in that, Nomadland. And just something about a movie like Nomadland that works for me. It's hard to say how. I guess the line about I like work, I could relate to that. But with Nightmare Alley, all I knew was it was about a con man, and I guess that was enough to go watch it. But it was a really weird story. It's like, all right, the con men are in all different forms. In this case, it meant carnivals. So it's like, yeah, I guess you have to be kind of a con man to be effective as a carny. So there was still something compelling about the story. And there was a body count, and I know that it caught me off guard when I heard a gunshot. It's like, well, I should have known what happened, but I didn't think it would happen right then. I didn't mind that it was 2.5 hours. I mean, it held my attention. That's the most important thing. And then I saw it at a diner, so I walked around and the mall was in after that. And Girl Scout cookie sellers are everywhere during the season. And there were some at the mall. And they said, do you want to buy Girl Scout cookies? And I had to be honest with them. And I said, I already bought 2 boxes this season. And it's true, I had. I mean, last week's story was about buying them at a gas station. And then, place that I bought this weekend was outside of Walgreens. I knew they were going to be selling them there because I went online to find out. So, I mean, I have cookies that I want. I like peanut butter. I've got both types of peanut butter. And they cost more than your typical cookies in the grocery store, so it's like, yeah, I guess I'm pretty much at my quota. What else can I tell them? I hope you sell a lot more without me. Well, yeah, weekend chores, not just movies either. Going to the post office, pick up my eBay and Amazon orders. It meant that I saw the eccentric postal employee, and he called me a different name this time. It was Oliver, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess that was better than Daryl. If I'm looking for a stage name or a pen name or something like that, maybe I'll consider Oliver. And then getting groceries. I go to the Aldi, and it was just hard to ignore how this one dude wanted to hug his lady right in front of me. And it's like, now why is that? What couple enjoys going to the grocery store that much? Or is it a case of, oh, I know he's single, and I need to rub his nose in, that I'm in a relationship and you're not. I know that some people are that much of an asshole that they will do that publicly. Fish fry season because it's Lent. I went to one at a community center and it was a neighborhood that I didn't know that well, but I did the MapQuest directions. When I get there, I see a flag and I see an enter sign from the road. And then when I go to the dude directing traffic, and I said, that was really helpful to have that out there. And he said, it was my idea. It's like, good, keep doing that. They need to know what works and what doesn't. Oh, and somebody dared me to do a spoon bit, so here we go. I went to high school with somebody named Spoon. What are the odds on that? I didn't think that was possible. Spoon Man, that was a song by Soundgarden, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and my first day at work at the bank, I found out they didn't have spoons in the break room. I had to bring my own. Oh, and I learned in school about how there was a speech error called spoonerisms. Martin me, pie is occupied. And it's like, yeah, I know that was somebody's name, Spooner, but close enough. So there you go. There's your spoon bit. That'll do it for me. Thank you all been great.